there's people that are posting on TikTok day in a life, this and that. You can literally be something with literally just social media or the internet. You don't need college.
The first black president, because we thought that he was going to make some change for us. He's black, we're black, he's going to help us. That's not what happened.
Focus. You gotta have that confidence, right? You gotta be like, yo, I'm fucking better than everybody. I will fucking smash everybody. Have a crippling insecurity, a fear of not being good at all, of being shit. And that fear drives.
Hello and welcome to Only the Real. I'm your host, Tony Kyle. We have a very special guest in the building today. She's a young entrepreneur. She's learning from my good brother, Omar Rashid, who is another genius in the real estate marketing space. She's a protege of him. Is there a female version of saying protege? Protegeon?
Don't even know. I don't know.
Who knows? She's that. Today she's going to talk to us about cultural issues. What's going on in her life from being a Gen Z or whatever these young people are these days. I don't even know. But today we have Lena.
Hello. My name is Lena, and I'm so happy to be on this podcast today. Thank you so much for having me on.
Of course. I don't know why you wanted to sit and do a podcast with me. I mean, I understand it's the most viewed podcast in the world right now, but what's your reason? Why are you here? Why are you standing in front of the people?
I just want to put myself out there. Since I am an entrepreneur, I need to be known. I can't be unknown. I have to put my voice out there.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about yourself. Like, first of all, how old are you and where are you from? And then what is it that you do?
So I am an 18-year-old high school student. I'm just finishing up my last year of high school. And right now I do own my own marketing agency. It's called Avenue 28. I just recently opened this back in October. And it literally just took me like a month to open. And this was purely inspired by Omar Rashid's marketing agency. He's a big influence on me. But I also do work for his marketing agency, Refitified, and it's taught me so much. I also do plan to get into the real estate world as well. So
when people say marketing, to me it just sounds like one big, I don't know, field of cameras and posting stuff online. So like what is a marketing agency and why did you decide that you wanted to do that?
You know, a marketing agency can be like many things, you know, like specifically like Refitified, it branches out to like many things, and it can be like paid ads, you know, promotional videos, photo shoots, social media managing, etc. And that's also what I do. Like I said, it's purely inspired from Refitified. This was the reason why I started this. Was like I knew, like, I decided I'm not going to go to college, and that was like, I was so set on that, and I just like had to do something to like know what I'm going to do right after high school. And I decided real estate and marketing is just, you know, the way to go for me specifically.
But why wouldn't you go to college? Because you have to go to college to get a good job, to get married and have kids later on down the line, and to be in debt.
You can be in debt until, you're going to have to keep on like paying off your student debts. And I'm just not about that. Like I'm not trying to be in debt. That's literally you like falling down like the rabbit hole. That's literally like the Matrix basically. I would rather, because I have like so many like friends around me that are not in college, and like they're, you know, basically entrepreneurs, and they're very successful people and everything. And also I come from an Arab household. That's a very big no-no, like no college and everything. But my mom has supported me through all of this, and she knew I would get somewhere with it. She's like my biggest inspiration as well. Yeah.
So, I mean, what kind of pushback, when you made that decision, what kind of pushback did you get? Like from people, your peers you were talking to, family members? You know,
I honestly have gotten like a lot of support. It's honestly the only like type of people that would have pushed back was like teachers at like my high school, for example. Like they really just want you to go down the same path as them. I'm not, there's no hate to teachers, seriously. Like
no, we definitely hate the teachers.
No, we don't hate the teachers. They just kind of like want all of the students to go down like the college and like job, family and all that. And, you know, all respect to that, but that's just not for me. Except for like the family part. I definitely do want a family for sure. But yeah, I was so set on my decision for sure.
It just seems like in today's day and age, there's no logical reason to go to college, because you have to get into so much debt, and you spend so many years, 4 to 6 years in college, just to graduate with this degree that statistically speaking, you just won't get a job.
Yeah,
you won't find employment.
I mean, I think you might get a job and all, but it's literally just gonna look good or pretty on like your resume. It's not gonna do anything for you. I have many people that have went to college and they're like about to graduate and everything. They know nothing. They know nothing that they've learned over the course of 4 years. It's just like a waste of your time. It's a waste of your money and a waste of your time. And like now in this generation, there's so many other ways of like making money and like figuring yourself out. It's not only through college. And I think that's what people nowadays have to realize. It's, not only college, you have so many like fields of, successions to be successful in,
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's possible. It's not impossible to not go to college and not be successful.
So, I mean, I think one of the reasons why I actually went to college is because I didn't know what I wanted to do after high school. So
and that's
like
the biggest mistake anyone can make.
Right. So what advice do you have for the person who's around your age range who doesn't know what they want to do? Everybody's pressuring them to go to college, but they just have no idea of where to start, what direction to go in. Like, should they just take a couple years to go meditate in the forest and find themselves? Like, what is the answer?
I honestly think like college, it's a really good, experience, to be honest. And at the end of the day, when you go to college, some people just choose to go to college just to party, drink, and smoke. That's literally all. And that's basically like their like haven house. Like they don't know what else to do and everything. But honestly, I feel like you need to, for the people that are watching and don't know what to do, that are trying to go to college or not trying to go to college, I think you have to surround yourself with very successful people. They're not hard to find. They're there. I promise you, they're there. They're all around you. You just have to find good connections and figure yourself out. Go on the internet. You have the internet for a reason. There's people that are posting on TikTok, day in a life, this and that. You can literally be something with literally just social media or the internet. You don't need college. But for example, if someone's trying to be a lawyer or a doctor, you're going to have to go to college. There's no other way. But if you're not trying to do that, like I said, find yourself some good connections.
So I agree with you 100%. And I think that the route that kids are taking, like I have a 13-year-old son, and he says constantly that he wants to be a streamer. So it's like, damn, it used to be college. Now all the kids want to do is stream. It's like, where's that middle balance? Because I'm trying to tell him, like, you can be a streamer, but where's the value that you're going to be providing to people? Is,
if he wants to be a streamer, he's going to have to find another source of income. He cannot rely on that. He really can't.
Well, some streamers do. They have millions of dollars.
Yeah, and that's very rare. Like 2 or 3, like you got Aiden Ross and then Kai Cenat and those type of people. But I don't know anything more. And they literally just, do weird ass stuff just for content. I promise you, just for content. And yeah, I'm sure he can be a streamer, but he's going to have to find something else to do, not just stream. And honestly, I don't know much about streaming and stuff, so I can't make any comments on that.
Yeah,
I really can't. So
I mean, and then you being 18, you grew up in the age where you have cell phones, you have cameras and everything. How does technology play a role in your life?
I literally use technology every day. Every day. If I lose my phone, I freak out, and that's such like a sad thing. But that's how I make my money. That's how I get place to place. Like it's just like a big part of my life, sadly, and that's just how it is. We're not in the 80s anymore. We're not in the 70s. We're 2024. Technology is a big part of everyone's life. Like right now, we're shooting a podcast. We're using technology. It's you're gonna have to use it every day.
But where do you find that balance though? Like, because I know for me personally, I have an issue where sometimes I'll look up and I've spent like 30 to 45 minutes just scrolling for no fucking reason.
Oh, well then that's bad.
Okay, so but, how do you find that balance of needing to use and have technology in your life on a daily basis, but also not overdoing it to where you're filling your mind with junk?
I feel like during the summer specifically, I don't have a problem with just mindlessly scrolling on TikTok.
So you're a seasonal scroller?
I guess so. I don't even know what that means, but honestly, I feel like when I like find myself like not knowing what to do, or like I'm like on a break or something, I'll just keep on scrolling and everything. But like I said, I honestly I use my phone just for like work purposes, and like because I'm so busy all the time. You know what I mean? I have school and then I have a job. 3 jobs just to keep in mind, and it's just like a lot to balance. You got like your social life and everything. I communicate with everyone through my phone. I do everything through my phone. But I have that balance where I can just like sit down and like enjoy nature and the view, and like actually have like a heart-to-heart moment with like friends and everything. Like that's no problem for me. I think some people might have that problem.
Yeah. even at 18, at such a young age, you seem very motivated and you seem like you have live your life with purpose and intention. So like, how did you get to this point of knowing exactly what it is that you want from life? And then we'll get into the marriage thing later, because I think that's an interesting point we discussed earlier. But how did you get to that point where you know exactly what you wanted to do and what you want from life?
It honestly took me until like these last couple of months. Like, I did not know what I wanted to do. I was in school, like I was planning on going to college literally right before my first day of senior year. And I had no idea what I was going to do. I think I wanted to be like a dentist, or I don't know, like even like real estate came up into mind. But that was way before I was like so set on it. I cannot even tell you. I was literally just like going out with my friends, not thinking about the future. And until like senior year hits, I'm like, I have to do something. Like, if my grades are bad, that's it. I can't get into any colleges. And I also just completely disagree about, you know, your grades like showing your intelligence, because I completely disagree on that. I really do. Like, you don't have to be unsuccessful with like bad grades and everything. You can have bad grades and be successful. And
yeah, it's really rough because people who get bad grades, they somehow equate that to not being intelligent or not being worth it, and then they kind of fall down that.
They
that
start
kind of
freaking
path.
out. They're like, "Oh my god, how am I gonna get into the school?" Their parents get mad at them. It's honestly like, I've been through that. I really have. But now that both me and my parents know what I'm gonna do, we're just like relaxed. There's no problem. There's no freaking out. There's no nothing. Like, I'm really happy with the decision I made. And I think other younger people, like people around like my age range, like people just graduating, just about to graduate, should take this route too. It's honestly like, it's a, you know,
What route is that? The route of not
real
going to
estate
college?
and marketing. Yeah.
But what if you're not interested in real estate? What if real estate seems very boring to me?
It can be boring, but like, I just listen. It's all about the money. I would rather a $300 course to make thousands of dollars rather than $1,000 school and then be in debt for the rest of my life. And that's literally why I chose real estate, because I did the math and I was like, yeah, the math isn't mathing. I'm choosing real estate.
Right.
Yeah.
But why even do that? You're an attractive lady. You come from an Arab background. You're Muslim as well. Why not just find some rich husband and become one of their wives?
We gotta cut this part out. 1 second.
What's so funny?
I can't say this on the internet. Oh my god.
Say what you can say.
I am definitely sorry. I'm definitely planning on getting married. But
that's an easier route. Like, you don't have to work so hard.
A lot of females nowadays are like just going with that route. They're just, you know, gold diggers and everything. I mean, I wouldn't blame them.
Because you're talking about putting in like 12-hour days, starting your own
honestly,
business. That seems rough.
I feel like I'm very like a traditional person. Like, my mindset has become very traditional. Like, I do want to be like a stay-at-home wife, and that's the goal at the end of the day. But like right now, I can't expect my parents to always support me. Like, they got their own stuff going on and everything. I have to eventually like put myself out there and do work, specifically for work, not put myself out there for anything else, but specifically for work. And eventually, inshallah, the guy that's for me will come to me.
Inshallah.
Yeah, inshallah.
Okay. I mean, I don't know, if I were in your shoes, I think that'd probably be a better option. It just seems like the easier route to take.
I mean, there's a lot of, you know, guys out there, but they're just not for me. Like, these guys now, like, they're literally sassy. They're not very masculine, you know what I mean? Like, they're just not the type of husband material I want. Like, all of these guys are all up in these girls' DMs, and they're not on their deen. I don't really like of course money is like a big part of everything, but like my number one is to make sure a guy is on his deen. He's a man of Allah. I can only access him through Allah. Yeah.
That's very powerful. I think you might get canceled for saying that. You know? But actually, let's go back to the dating pool of America, because I want to also talk about like what are you seeing out there in your age bracket? You said the men are not masculine. So describe that. Give me some examples of what you're talking about. I have
seen guys that are very like stingy with their money and everything. I mean, I just see it on the internet as well. Like, I see a bunch of guys like putting on skirts, dresses, makeup, nails.
What guys do that? Oh shit! I must be missing. That must be missing my feed.
No, I always see that on my stuff. Like, I see like furries and stuff, and I don't like. I can't with it. I feel like now guys are starting to get to the point to like become masculine, get money and everything, and like I mean that's at least what I see on my feed. But yeah, I do see here and there guys that are doing feminine things. I just can't.
I mean, so what do you think would be the main difference between like the men that are, let's say, here in Washington D.C. versus someone in Morocco, in Marrakesh?
Well, I personally would not marry a Moroccan man. I would definitely go for more in the Middle East rather than North Africa.
Why is that?
I haven't seen a North African man that like really like popped out to me. Like they're just not like, oh my God, I'm gonna get
No, please, this is what we like to hear. No, the name of this podcast is Only the Real, so like let's keep it as real as possible. Like what's really happening out here?
Moroccan men. I'm Moroccan, so I feel like I can speak comfortably about this. They don't really measure up to the rest of the Middle East. I'm sure a lot of, my dad's Moroccan. He's a very nice man, very...
Props to dad.
He's really great. I have, uncles that are Moroccan. Like, they're all great. But when it comes to like the younger generation of Moroccans, they're just not it.
They're all
not
soft.
It's not really soft. They're just like, they want more, but rather than what they have. Like, they want like a girl that's like coming from a rich family and this and that, but they don't come from a rich family, or they're not even on their deen. All they want is with Moroccan men, their biggest fetishes are like white women, for example. They would not go with their own culture.
Really?
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
So then what separates them from other Arab nations, the men? So like actually tell me specifically from what nationality would a man interest you?
Maybe around like the Gulf Arab countries.
Okay, so you want a rich Qatari.
Yeah, I guess so. Like maybe like Saudi Arabia, UAE. Yeah, but like I said, I just want to clarify. I just want a man on his deen.
That's the most important part.
That's the most important. No, seriously. Because like at the end of the day, they're going to try and get multiple wives and everything. And I personally just don't agree with the multiple wives things. And they'll end up cheating on you and everything. But a man on his deen will fear God, and he'll respect his lady, and he'll, provide for his family and have a provider type of mindset. You know what I mean? So that's literally what I'm all about. I'm not about the... like a bunch of money, a bunch of girls. Like I'm not all for that. Hell no.
But I thought you said that, so you mentioned before you like Andrew Tate.
I do.
What about Andrew Tate do you find attractive?
Wait, rephrase that, bro. Rephrase that.
You said you like Andrew Tate. Yeah. What about Andrew Tate do you like?
Okay. He's been like changing a man's mindset, because like now he has like a big impact on males in this generation now. He's advocating for like having a provider mindset, and just he's basically advocating for having a traditional type of mindset, which I completely agree with. And I also respect a lot that he's converted to Islam. And everything that he said before Islam was kind of BS, I'm not going to lie. Like after, he started to make a lot more sense, and that's where the attraction comes from, for sure.
And he's been on his deen, and he's not drinking anymore.
Yeah, and like I honestly, big respect to that. And he's been, inspiring a lot of other young lads too. So I completely respect that. He's literally basically saving the minds, the young minds for the males.
Yeah, and I think that's one reason why he's being persecuted so heavily, is because his message is so strong.
He speaks the truth.
And he's inspiring the men of today to stop being Moroccan men.
Exactly. Exactly. No, listen, all respect to Moroccan men. Seriously, of course. But me personally, I just nope.
All respect to all men, as long as you're on your deen. This is what she says. She's
convert to Islam, stay on your deen.
Yeah. Andrew Tate's been a massive influence in my life. Before I came across his message, I used to party a lot. I used to drink a lot. I used to just be around the wrong type of people. Him and his message emphasized the importance of having strong brothers around you, people who are stand-up guys who do good business, and who they accept nothing less than the best and the greatest version of themselves.
Yeah.
And I think that message is powerful because you like you said, you have a shortage of men out here who are willing to just do what's right. You know, the guys are just not living up to their full potential in any meaningful way.
I agree with him a lot. I agree with him like a lot. And yeah, when it comes to, like, from the business aspect, he knows how to run a business. And he advocates for not watching like haram stuff. For example, like porn. Like, don't watch that. Like, eat healthy, work out. Like, I feel like that's literally all that he advocates. And I know that he said some pretty screwed up shit back in the day, but now I feel like he's kind of like proving himself, and he's really just, you know, kind of saving himself now. And he's kind of like, because I feel like if anyone else says what Andrew Tate says, but like in a less aggressive way, they'd be like, oh yeah, like I agree with him. But he just says stuff in like such like an aggressive way. But I like, even like Tristan Tate said this once in an interview. I can like send you the link. He was talking to Piers Morgan. And Tristan Tate literally explained that to Piers Morgan or whatever. I forgot his name.
Piers Morgan,
yeah, Piers Morgan. And yeah, he was literally just like, yeah, like Andrew just says stuff in such like an aggressive way, and like literally if anyone else says that, like if anyone else says what Andrew Tate says, they would agree with him. But
100%.
Yeah.
And but you have to think, like, Andrew Tate comes from the very early days of YouTube. Like, he was recording and having people follow him around with a camera before anybody else was doing it. Yeah. So he's mastered the art of telling the truth in the way that stings. Yeah. You know, like he
makes sure it stings. Like, he uses like words that'll like get to people's minds, and that's why like, a lot of females now like don't like him. I at first didn't even like him, but like over time I kind of like started watching him more, and I started understanding what type of message he was putting out there, and I completely agreed with it.
Exactly. That is a powerful brother that we have right there.
Yeah, of course.
So what's going on in your world? Like, what is Lena focused on besides business? Like, outside of the business, what do you do?
I'm just chilling, man. I literally just hang out with my friends. If it's not like regarding business, I'm always with, you know, surrounded by good people. I stay on my deen, of course. I pray 5 times a day, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
And yeah, I try to surround myself with people that are successful, first of all, and second of all, that are on their deen. Like, I have a lot of hijabi friends, and they've been influencing me a lot. I also have niqabi friends. And
what's the difference between the hijabi and how do you pronounce it?
Niqab.
Niqabi.
So it's Niqabi, niqabi.
Okay.
Niqabi, yeah. So hijabi only covers her hair, right? And a lot of hijabi should just like, they're not allowed to like show like their skin when it comes to like their forearm or like their ankles, anything, but they're just showing their face. With an niqabi, they cover everything rather than just their eyes. Only their eyes are showing.
Is there a difference in the way they practice Islam?
No.
Okay.
No.
So it's really just the
covering. Yeah, I mean, it's like levels of like covering yourself up, and like a lot of girls only just reach the hijabi phase, which I think is like respectable and everything. But I also respect the niqabis, and even if like they don't show their eyes, I respect it all.
What would be like the main difference or motivation? Like, why would some women choose hijabi versus niqabi?
I think a lot of people think, you know, a female wearing a niqabi is just too much. But I mean, to each their own. Like, I see nothing wrong with it. But I feel like a niqabi is very like close to her deen and everything, and so are hijabis. But like, I don't know. It's all a girl's opinion. Like, it's whatever she's comfortable with. And right. A lot of girls only reach the hijabi phase. But what I do notice is that a lot of females in Saudi Arabia or like the Khaliji countries all wear the niqab.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. So like, when it comes to dating as a Muslim woman, not you because you've kind of been Americanized to a sense, like you're not hijabi or niqabi, but like, how I've always been curious, how do those women find a husband if the husband can't see what they look like? At some point, do they have to like? Can they get
I'm
a peek?
not completely like educated on this, but what my friend said, who is a niqabi herself, she says, while there's, you know, people there, like specifically like her father or a mom or anything, like the man is supposed to see the face. She's supposed to show her face and nothing else, not her hair, just her face. And she puts it back on, and then we see if the man approves of it or not.
I wonder how many like times the man was just like, "Whoa, nope, I'm not comfortable doing this anymore."
I think Arabs or Muslims, they have like a lot of nur on their face. You know what nur is?
No.
Nur is almost like a beauty. Like she has not sinned as much. She prays for 5 prayers, and you gain a lot of nur from praying Fajr specifically. And yeah, you look very clean. You don't have pimples on your skin. You look very like, you look innocent, basically, what nur is explained as.
And is it I mean, you can choose not to answer this, but you're supposed to be a virgin when you get married. Am I correct?
Yes, that's the guidelines for Islam.
Okay. Now, how does that play out? Like, what do you think the percentage is of virgin women who are in Arab countries, let's say? Do you think they're all following that, or do you think that there's, some people who don't?
I have not pulled up the numbers, but in Islamic law, you are allowed to not state out your sins. Like a man or a groom, like you're supposed to marry this man, he asks you if you're a virgin, you're not, you have the option.
Can she lie, or she can just say no? Like,
she can just say no. It's Islamic law. Even for the man himself, he doesn't have to tell the woman, like, yeah, I'm not a virgin. He does not have to do that. Both of them. You keep your sins to yourself as long as you repented to Allah.
That's interesting. Okay, so there's no free answers over here.
Yeah,
none at all.
Yeah, you can keep that to yourself.
Yeah. It's an amazing cultural difference. And the thing I respect the most about Islam is that the people who follow and are on their deen, they live such better quality of lives.
They do. I feel like, because I swear, your iman is it fluctuates. You can become so like religious one day and then like feel like, oh my God, like I haven't prayed my 5 prayers like the other day. What is iman? Iman is like your faith. It's like the level of your faith. Like if you're so connected to God, you stop listening to music, you do exactly what Islam tells you to do, and maybe the other day like you don't do that. It fluctuates. It's kind of like a mood. You know what I mean? So yeah, your iman fluctuates. I forgot what I was saying. What were we talking about?
We were talking about the quality of what is iman?
Yeah, iman. And yeah, if your iman is high, I swear you will live a peaceful life. I swear, like there will be nowhere you might go through such like a bad incident and you'll just say Alhamdulillah, it was meant to happen.
Exactly.
Fiha khair. There's
Yeah.
And I swear, like I've been through that, and I've had a time where my iman was so high, and it fluctuates for me. It fluctuates for everyone, but like I swear, like it's some type of like peace that I've never felt before. You know, like you pray your last prayer of the night and you go to sleep. You don't think about nothing. You go to sleep peacefully and you wake up just fine.
Yeah, it's evident. I've been all over the world, and whenever I go to Muslim countries, when I say like the majority of the population, they all have this iman about them, or if I'm using that word correctly, but they all seem very, very happy, very at peace, very, very willing to give and charitable. And it just seems like that's exclusive to people who follow Islam.
People now are starting to understand Islam. We have a lot of people converting to the religion, alhamdulillah, Allahumma barak. But yeah, we're specifically like Arabs and Muslims, we are very like welcoming people. How do I even, like, what's the word for it? Hold on, I forgot the word. Anyways, we're very welcoming people, very nice people. You say you like something, we'll get it for you. Like, we're just very like open arms people. Like, I think I love the Arab culture so much. I like the aesthetic of it. I like the people. They're very nice, very, very, very nice. The food, everything. I'm so in love with the Arab culture, and I'm very thankful that these type of people are Muslims, because I swear, like, Islam will just get you to places that you won't even dream of. There was a time where I was praying to be successful, and I did not know what I wanted to do, and eventually I got somewhere with it, and I'm still on, the path of success, inshallah. But yeah, I got somewhere with it because I kept on making prayers and I kept on making du'as. Yeah.
Has there been a moment in your life where you knew for a fact that because this moment happened the way that it did, like God had intervened in your life, and you said, "Oh, all praise be to Allah," because of something that happened?
Yeah. It was more of like a personal experience. I had a talk with someone very important to me, and that person like made me realize that I have to get close to my iman, and I always respect that person. I will always remember that person, and I respect that person so much because they really just had like an hour to 2 hour talk with me regarding Islam and everything. And after that talk, I swear I just like my whole life flipped around, and I brought myself into my room. I was crying, and I put my prayer mat down, and I started praying, and life has been better. I swear it has been better. It's been great though. Yeah. I highly suggest anyone to start getting close to their deen.
Yeah. Alhamdulillah, I when I go to the mosque, it's Ivy City Mosque in like Northwest Washington D.C., and it's more of like a predominantly like Black American neighborhood. And I always see these young Black boys walk into the mosque, and it makes me feel so happy because I connect with them just on an ethnic level. Like I know what they're going through. Like I've been there. I've seen the circumstances in which these kids live in, and it's not the best, to be honest. We have parents on drugs,
but they're always the happiest. Even like overseas, like people who don't have internet or don't have phones or just living in like a house, maybe even going through war, they always manage to keep a smile on their face. And like 100%. I'm not sure about the American culture where you got people that converted to Islam and live in like American Black neighborhoods and everything. Like I'm very like proud of you guys because it's always hard to fast during Ramadan and you have no one else to fast with. You know what I mean? It's very tricky. And I have like a lot of respect for you guys. Sorry I cut you off.
No, but I was just saying that what these kids go through, it's very tough. It's tough for a lot of them because you have their family members are on drugs. They might be selling drugs themselves even when they leave the mosque. But this is how they know to survive. You know, and I believe one day, inshallah, they'll come to the straight path. But I think that Black Americans would be better off if we had that solidarity and those set of rules that Islam provides. You know, when you pray 5 times a day, when you don't smoke weed and you don't drink alcohol, like that in itself, when you abstain from those negative vibrations, you're able to think clearly and consciously on an entirely different level.
Exactly, yeah. And you're very like humble, you're very down to earth when you do these things, and you fear nothing but God. You make sure that you always say alhamdulillah after every incident that goes through. You don't say I could have done this, I should have done that. It all happened for a reason, because I've went through some bad events and I would not be where I am without those events.
100%.
Yeah. And honestly, there are some kids who claim to be Muslim but still drink, smoke weed and everything, but I'm not sure if they realize that. I'm not even sure if you know this, maybe you do. Maybe. If you drink alcohol or smoke weed, your prayers will not be valid for the next 40 days.
Seriously?
Yeah, but you still have to pray those 40 days. So I highly suggest anyone that doesn't know this stuff.
Is that in the Quran or hadith?
I'm not sure. I heard it from like a sheikh. I was like watching sheikhs speak about stuff, because there's always like these videos of these sheikhs speaking regarding Islam and like regarding like today's problems and everything. So I think that's where I got it from. But you guys can like fact check me. I don't know. It might be in the Quran. I'm not sure. Have you read the Quran?
I'm reading it currently. Okay. I haven't read the entire thing. I'm probably about maybe like halfway through.
Okay.
It is quite the book. It does. I love the fact that compared to the Bible, and I don't want to compare the books, but I love the fact that it's the word of Allah through the Prophet Muhammad, instead of just like the Bible. It's a bunch of different stories that are compiled
and
into one book.
It's been like switched up.
Exactly. Exactly. And that was kind of my main, let's say, I guess issue, if for lack of better words, with the Christian faith for myself. It's just that I didn't know what to believe. I didn't know, because I know it's been changed over time. I didn't know what to exclude from what I was reading and what to continue to read. I know that there are certain books like Proverbs and the other books of wisdom that have clear, valuable messages in them. One message from the Bible that changed my life forever, I will never forget this. I was about 21 years old, and I was in the lowest point of my life mentally, and it was because that I was in like a bad relationship, and we just negative all around me, and I was in, I guess looking back on it, it was considered depression. And I opened up this book of Proverbs, and one verse that stuck out to me, it says, "Search for wisdom as you would for gold." And it said, "Search for wisdom as you would for gold." So what that meant to me was, above anything else on this plane of existence, try to find wisdom. And wisdom is what's right, what is true, what is, it might even come in parables. It's not like do this, do that. It's stories. It's things that will teach you lessons if you just contemplate on them. And from that moment, I've read so many books and went on a spiritual journey that completely altered my life. I don't know who I would be without it, because when you change your mindset and you know what's truly valuable and important in this life, then you kind of work differently. You operate differently on a daily basis. And I've done silent retreats because I believe it's important for every person to spend time alone with themselves. You have to be able to hear your thoughts away from the devices, the distractions, the alcohol, the weed, all that stuff. When you just hear your thoughts, it's hard for a lot of people. Some people go crazy in solitary confinement, but to some that could be a blessing because you get to internalize and study yourself and your thoughts. And I've even done ayahuasca. You familiar with ayahuasca? Never heard of it?
Nope.
Really? That's interesting. Okay.
What is that?
Oh, I'm going to tell you. So ayahuasca is this old shamanic ritual of
What's a shamanic?
like shamans. So shamans means that the medicine men from Peru.
Okay.
They found these two plants. And they found one plant on one side of the Amazon rainforest and one plant on the other side of the Amazon rainforest. And somehow they said the plants communicated it to them. They brought these two plants together and they made a brew. And you brew it for a couple hours, and then you drink it and you have these hallucinogenic effects.
Oh, like LSD.
Like LSD.
Shrooms?
Like shrooms. LSD is chemical based, so you can make that in a lab. Mushrooms are natural and they have psychedelic properties. So it's more similar to mushrooms because it's organic.
Okay.
And I've done maybe about 25 ceremonies, and these ceremonies are like everyone gets together in a dark room and you drink from this cup, and you have crazy personal revelations, and you feel connected to spirit. I don't know if you want to say God, but spirit. And you're shown things about yourself and about your life and about your upbringing that it just reveals yourself to you in a way that maybe just being sober for 20 days won't. So during the ceremonies, after they take the brew, everyone sits around in a circle, and then they have the shaman, the person who's like leading the ceremony. They will sing these songs, beautiful songs, and these songs are meant to guide you through your spiritual ceremony. So it's haram according to Islamic standards, but this is when I was on the journey to find it myself.
Yeah. So how did you find Islam? Like what really caught your eye about Islam? I think you might have spoken on this on like one of your podcasts.
Yeah, I did. For me, it was my friends mostly. Okay. So I have friends who are on their deen and who profess Islam all the time, and I've even as a Christian, I went with them to the mosque many times. I go and I pray because on my spiritual journey, I'm open to everything. I just want to know what's true. So I'm willing to go to a Buddhist temple and sit next to the monks and meditate. I'm willing to go do ayahuasca in the Amazon rainforest. I'm willing to sit by myself for 10 days. Like, I'm willing to try everything until I find out what works for me and what's the truest. So what really did it for me was when my friends were explaining the story of Islam and how the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, how he professed his message in the trials and tribulations that he went through to spread that message. And it was such a beautiful story, and I have yet to find any fault with it.
That's beautiful. Yeah. Honestly. Yeah. It's always good to, branch out when you're lost and try and find the truth and everything. But yeah, I like I said, I'm very like proud of everyone who has like chosen to convert to Islam, and they go through it maybe alone unless they have like Muslim friends and everything. But when it comes to like having maybe a family that comes from like a different religion and you being the only Muslim, being a Muslim, sometimes like people are against you. Maybe your parents might be mad at you for praying in a Islamic way and everything. Maybe you have to hide the fact that you're fasting or anything. Yeah. So it's always hard. And, I'm very proud of you. And yeah, it's a good job. Yeah.
I mean, luckily, I'm glad that I found it on my own instead of it being pushed to me, because I feel like when you have somebody trying to push a message, whether it's right or wrong, you can automatically just say, no, I don't want to do it because I didn't find it on my own. But it's been quite a journey, and I'm still learning, and I'm looking forward to learning, especially Arabic too.
Yeah. Well,
you speak Arabic?
Yeah, I speak a dialect of Arabic.
Moroccan Arabic?
I speak Darija. Because, a lot of Arab countries don't understand Darija because, like, we speak very fast. And we also have some French words in there, maybe some Spanish words.
Oh, so it's not Arabic.
It's Arabic, all right? It's Arabic. I swear. Like, I have so many Arab friends that, like, make fun of the way I talk or, like, the language that I speak. But it's an Arabic dialect. We'll do, like, dialect challenges and
Dialect challenges.
Yeah, like well, I'll have like I have like Lebanese friends, Egyptian friends, Saudi friends, and we'll all compare the language, and it's very close. You know,
Yeah.
not even like the Lebanese and Saudi Arabian dialects are the same.
Right.
Yeah, but it's I think Arabic has to be one of the hardest languages, yet the most beautiful.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
so
what I'm hearing. And just correct me if I'm wrong. Like when you take Islam, you're also accepting the reality that you will learn or you intend to learn Arabic, right?
yeah, I honestly I grew up with Arabic. Arabic's my second language because I was raised in America and I was born in America. But yeah, I'm very thankful I have Arab parents and a family. But yeah, it's definitely like a journey to go through because you have like so many like pronunciations and everything. I even went to school in Morocco. It's yeah, the American schools are way better than overseas, and I'm thankful for where I am. But yeah, it's definitely a journey learning Arabic. I still learn new words to this day.
Tell me about your time in Morocco. Like what age was that?
I was 5 years old or
Okay.
6 years old. I was I was with my grandparents because at the time my mom was a single mom. She needed to get back on her feet to be where she is now.
Mm-hmm.
I spent like I think 6 months with them, and at first I did go to this American school and
An American school in Morocco.
in Morocco, yeah.
Okay.
And then eventually I left that school to go to a public Moroccan school, and I trust me when I say this, it's not the best school system. Don't raise your kids in Morocco.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's
So wait, what happened at the American school in Morocco? Like how was that experience for you?
it was honestly the best time of my life.
Really?
I loved it. I had, kids coming from Spain and people coming from England and all around the world that all speak English, and I was making new friends every day. But the difference with the public school was that the public school was almost like you can't wear nail polish, you can't wear makeup. If your handwriting is bad, they'll tell you to go in front of the class, put your hands out, and they'll smack you with a stick. And
Really?
Yep.
Maybe I should put my son there.
Oh my god.
Get his handwriting up.
Yeah, it was definitely a trip.
So
For sure.
the public schools are more traditional and you have to follow their rules pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also, yeah, in Morocco we learn French and Fusha. Fusha is traditional Arabic, like the most.
The Quran Arabic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was something I wasn't used to because I went to school in America first. I learned my ABCs, and then now I have to learn a whole different alphabet, which is very hard for me. I don't know. I could not process the information.
Yeah, so it's not an issue with it's not an issue with all schools in Morocco. You're saying just the public school system.
Just
in
the
Morocco.
public school
Okay.
system. Yeah. If you go to like an American school or like I don't know, like any other type of school, it'll be fine. But yeah, public school, not it.
Yeah. So what's your outtake or what's your outlook on politics? Are you following anything in politics right now?
Yo,
What do you think about Donald Trump?
I like him.
You like Donald Trump?
I like Donald Trump.
What-
Dude, oh my god. I at first like back in 2020, I think it was 15 or 14, 15. Yeah.
That's crazy. 15 is crazy.
I was such like a big Joe Biden supporter, and I don't know why. I was like I was literally just following anything I saw on social media, and now I'm comparing Biden's presidency to like Trump's, and like I see how Trump is and everything, and obviously like Trump makes comments here and there, but like when it comes to like the business aspect and like being a president, he avoided any type of like wars in like the Middle East, and like he made peace with like Russia, made peace with Saudi Arabia, China. And then now that Joe Biden is in his presidency, there's already a war going on.
Yeah, there's a few of them going on.
Yeah, a few of them.
So you're saying you do not like Joe Biden because he's old and senile?
I didn't say all that. I guess I just don't agree with how he's running his presidency now. Yeah.
So I know that you're not following the world politics, but Tucker Carlson just had an interview with Vladimir Putin, who's who's the president of Russia.
Oh yeah, I know Vladimir Putin. Who's the other guy?
Tucker Carlson.
I have no idea who
Okay,
that
he used to
is.
be a Fox News anchor, and
Okay.
then he got fired from Fox because he was telling the truth too much. And then he moved his show over to X.
Okay.
And X is like this free speech platform where you can come and tell your ideas, and you're not going to be persecuted for it. And so far, it's stayed true to their word. So this is a pretty historic interview
Okay.
because Tucker Carlson got a lot of pushback and criticism for going over there because they're like, well, the people who don't want Russia's president's message to get out are like, yo, why are you going to help spread his message of propaganda.
Mhm.
But if you really look at what's happening in America and the lies that they tell you to your face,
Yeah.
they tell you lies to your face and people eat it up. And, you know, not to talk about your younger self, but like you said, you didn't know why you
I was
followed
literally
Joe
just, I was
Biden.
literally just feeding into like the social. I was like on TikTok scrolling Instagram, and then my friends were all like, at the time, like emo and like, yeah, Biden. Like
So it's almost like a cult. It's like you have to get
Yeah.
indoctrinated into this way of thinking.
People just follow what they see.
Mhm.
And honestly, like, yeah, like we do that too, but like it's like on a different aspect. Like you don't like people are just gonna like follow other people because they follow that person, and like maybe because they're famous as well. Like
Yeah.
for example, if like I don't know, like Drake said he likes, I don't know, Biden,
Yeah.
everyone's be like, yeah, I like Biden, you know.
I'm glad
So.
you brought that up because I think that Taylor Swift, right? And you're familiar with Taylor Swift, but
Yeah, I know who she is.
you know who she is. I know who she is too, but trust me, I don't follow them at all. So
Yeah.
she's dating this NFL player named Travis Kelce of the Kansas City Chiefs. They're about to go to the Super Bowl. But I'm trying to figure out for the life of me, why is Taylor Swift getting more airtime? Like she's being on camera more in this football era during the games than all the other players of the team. Now I have this theory. This theory that I have is that after this football game, this Super Bowl is over, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, because I believe they're bought by these pharmaceutical companies, that they're going to come out in support of Joe Biden or whoever the Democratic
Oh my god.
candidate is.
Yeah.
And they're going to do that because they have influence, they have power, and people listen to them.
Yeah, it's all like if a person is famous with like a huge following and everything, and if they're very known, obviously they're gonna have like a big like, you know, voice to be out there, and it's that's gonna like influence like a lot of the younger minds and everything. Like if I was 15, I'd have been like, yeah, Taylor Swift, but yeah, no, not anymore.
So you're not a Swiftie.
No, I don't listen. I listen to like house music, rap. You know, it depends. My music taste is all over the place.
Right.
Um,
So I mean,
Yeah.
it's just amazing to see kind of the influences. I'm trying to think about when I was growing up. Actually, when I had went to college, I went to Morgan State University, and this was 2008, right around the time that Barack Obama got elected.
oh, I was 3.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Oh,
And like yourself, I remember during that time period that I was just so excited, along with everybody else on campus. They were so excited to have the first black president because we
Yeah.
thought that he was going to make some change for us. Because I went to this black school, and he's a black president. Obviously, it should be mathing.
Yeah.
He's black, we're black. He's going to help us.
Yeah.
That's not what happened. We were extremely let down because there were no policy changes that affected us. We didn't get more money. I think our people got more money under Donald Trump. Shout out to Trump. Than Barack
For
Obama.
real, I honestly think like I said, I feel like I don't know, Donald Trump might have said like some stuff that might have not been like, you know, permissible or whatever, but like when it came to like taxes or like the gas prices or like avoiding anything, he just handled himself very well, even though there were like some like obstacles over the course of time. But I personally feel like from my lifetime, I think Donald Trump is great.
Donald Trump's the man.
Donald Trump 2024.
I mean, it's so much stuff going on though. I don't even feel comfortable living in the U.S.
I wanna
At
move
least for
out.
this election.
I honestly don't see myself growing up and raising my kids in America. I want to, you know, raise them in a Muslim country.
Mm.
And it's only purely because you have all of these kids who are influenced, you know, and they're drinking and smoking, and then your child is eventually going to follow them and be like, I want to be cool, I want to dress like this, do this, go there, go to a party where there's a bunch of stuff, and some dangerous stuff might happen to that kid. So
Fentanyl's all over the place.
yeah, and you know, I don't agree with it because, you know, when I was younger, I mean, there was no fentanyl, but like I was like at high school parties and everything, and I should have never went. It was just, you know, honestly, it's an experience, but that's not what I'm trying to have for my future generation of kids.
What country, you said you want to move to a Muslim country? What countries are you thinking about?
UAE or like Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
Yeah, those are the main countries. And I honestly think like they're on the upcome. Honestly, like with like financially and like the quality of life there is so much better. Like I know like America has like a lot of like America's like a very strong country. You know what I mean? They have a very they have very strong businesses and a lot of oil and I like all that politics and whatnot. Very powerful military and whatnot, but Saudi Arabia and the UAE, they're on an upcome. Everyone's moving there. Everyone's going there. They're like, you're not gonna find any other place that's like suitable to live that's a Muslim country like Saudi Arabia and UAE.
People say that the American dollar is backed by nothing, when that's false. The American dollar is backed by the military. The amount of guns and warships and warplanes that we have, if a country says, no, we're not going to do what you want us to do, America will literally send boats and bombs over there to force them into their way of thinking.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not sure if I'm like allowed to speak on like the Israel-Palestine stuff.
Of course.
It's very controversial. But yeah, that's like what I'm mostly educated on, like when it comes to like the military war and everything. Like they're literally funding thousands and millions of dollars to Israel while they can be funding the homeless people of their own citizens that are just laying on the street of Washington D.C. and other states. You know what I mean? I feel like America should do better when it comes to like, helping their citizens rather than just sending trillions of dollars overseas and just killing people. I think everyone should live.
That's something that that Vladimir Putin mentioned during his interview last night with Tucker Carlson. He's like, and he's not talking about the Israel-Palestine conflict per se, but he's saying, why are you funding the Ukrainian troops to have those men lose their lives when you have so many problems at home? You have homelessness, you have inflation is getting out of control. There's so many different things and problems that we could be fixing here, but we're just not.
I don't know. That's why I want to move out.
Yeah, you're not the only one. You're not the only one. So it's going to be interesting these next couple of years to see how this all plays out.
I feel like if any type of citizen of America wants to move out, they're gonna have to start making money, because it's not cheap to go overseas and have a nice house and live comfortably like you already are in America. You know what I mean? I feel like the younger generation of people are all gonna move overseas somewhere. I mean, that's at least what I'm hearing with my circle.
That's my plan as well. I'm gonna get out of here within the next like 6 months, for real, because it's rough. It's not looking good. I mean, every time I travel out of the country and I see the quality of life that people who have a fraction of what we have, they have, I'm like, and I come back and I see people with possessions, with the car, with the house, with the family, and they're so miserable. Their quality of life just sucks.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm glad that you brought that up, because no matter how much money or how wealthy you are, how known you are, this is when religion comes into play, because you are never going to be happy without having God by your side. I swear, you're not. You're gonna feel miserable. You're gonna feel depressed. You're gonna feel, you're just gonna feel lost, is what you're gonna feel. And if you want to have all that succession and everything, you have to remember where you got it from, where these blessings are coming from. And everyone should keep that in mind. 100%,
because you can't be attached to this material plane. It's a lot of BS out here.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So in the world of entertainment and pop, what are you following?
A lot of house music. I don't know.
Like, what shows do you watch? Do you watch shows?
I'm rewatching Gossip Girl right now. It's a very old TV show. I watched Vampire Diaries. I watched I watched shows, Gossip Girl.
Yeah. No, I'm just trying to figure out where the minds of the youth are.
It's very different with every type of kid nowadays. With Gen Z, some people are like watching Grey's Anatomy, or I don't know. It's all over the place. So also Euphoria is a big thing.
Oh yeah, Euphoria.
Yeah.
Didn't some like one of those the lead character get naked? Wasn't it about sex and stuff? I just remember like
that's literally what the show is. But
okay, all right. So I was right.
Yeah. No, one of the characters just died, I think, a couple months ago.
Really?
Yeah, one of the main characters, and then one of the producers died as well. So I'm not sure if we're gonna see Euphoria again.
That sucks.
Yeah, it was a really good show though.
That's an interesting point. I think we had an amazing conversation. I want to touch on one last thing before we go. The impact of mental health. I know when I was coming up, typically mental health wasn't like, it was a thing that people discussed, but I think as the years progressed, people got more and more in tune with mental health. How are people from your generation dealing with it? Are they taking pills? Are they praying to Allah? Like, what are they doing?
First of all, I completely disagree with the pills. The pills are only going to make you sicker. And I feel like, depression can be real and anxiety can be real. But at the end of the day, my personal opinion is I feel like it all just comes from your head. If you, and I put religion into everything. If you just, pray to God and you thank God for everything, and you thank him for all the blessings that you have already, like, I don't see why it is appropriate for someone to be like, oh, I have anxiety, I have depression, when there's kids out in war, there's parents losing their children and everything. There's, if you compare, if you bring a depressed person, a person that claims to be depressed or have anxiety or all that, and then you bring another person that's, from a third world country going through war, and the other person with depression tells the other person from the third world country, oh, I have a depression, like, this is what I'm going through.
They're going to laugh at you.
They're going to laugh at you. And I have heard this from Andrew Tate too, and I completely agree with him. And my whole life, my parents always told me, like, depression isn't real, anxiety isn't real, and I'd be like, whoa, what are you talking about? Like, yeah, it is real. Like, here's the statistics and everything, but at the end of the day, it's all in your head. Just go ahead and pray, put your head down on the prayer mat, and everything will be all right.
That's amazing. Lena, I think that you are quite an inspiration to a lot of young people out there.
Thank you.
I wish that I had your mindset at your age. I think I would be years ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
So it's a pleasure to get you here and to get your perspective on things. Yeah, of course.
Thank you.
And we'll run it back soon. Let's see what the audience says.
All right.
All right. That's a pleasure. Thank you.